This demonstration, we're going to take a look at the query editors that we use in MDX. The main query editor that we're going to use is based off SQL Server Management Studio, and as you see, I'm tied into the Analysis Services database up here and into the AdventureWorks DW 2008 R2, which you get off of Codeplex. You can download that. And the other one we're going to take a look at off and on will be in BIDS, Business Intelligence Development Studio, and I've also got that open, and that's also tied into AdventureWorks 2008. So moving back on over to my main query editor, which is here in Management Studio, I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to open a new query just by clicking the new query, and here's the excellent metadata pane over here, which shows me as I time on in my measures that are available in the cube, in the KPIs, and then also my dimensions as they drop up and down. We also have a tab over here for the different functions that are available, and coming back over, and it shows you this cube that is down here. Now I'm going to enter just a basic query. So I've got my select statement down there, and I'll drop on down and I'll give me my from and drop on over, and now I'm going to grab a hold of the cube. Let me do it this way. I'm going to grab AdventureWorks cubes down here and drop it on in, and as you see, it brings that on in, but if you'll note, it brings it in. Let me comment it. It brings it in, and it did not wrap it in braces, and we've got white space in here, so this would be illegal. So we need that wrapped in braces. That said, I would highly suggest just go ahead and using braces all the time anyway. And now if I bring it in down here for my metadata pane, you see it comes on down, and let's execute this code. Well, first off, we'll parse it on out, and obtained object, blah, 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 blah. A cell set. In MDX, we say cell set, which is very similar to like a row set that we would retrieve back off of SQL. And now we'll call execute, and which, you know, as usual with Windows, there's 300 different ways to actually execute, but we're just going to use the execute button down here. And we retrieve, down here on my results. If I can come in and select that son of a gun, I've got 80,000 down here, 450. Now, if you'll notice that I did not put anything up in here what to select, and this is just in passing, this is one of the differences in a select statement in MDX as compared to a select statement in SQL. I did not have to put anything down here because by default the measure, and if remember, measures are facts, when we set up the cube, we set up a default measure. So as I didn't put anything down in here, we use the default measure, which happens to be in the AdventureWorks cubes reseller sales amount. But let me just drop that on in so you can see it executing again. And now I'm going to select measures dot, and you see the braces dot reseller sales amount from the AdventureWorks cube, and I'll re-execute. And see what I did wrong. Oh, idiot. All right, down here I didn't tell it what to do, so I need to tell it on the columns. Down here like this, and so I can put in columns. I also could have put in 0, and now if we execute, I have it back again. You see, this is better in that I actually have reseller sales, so my output down here I can see it. If I come over and take a look at the messages, blah, 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 blah. 2 rows and 1 columns as I come on down. So there's my on columns. By the way, I could also do it this way. On 0, which is the column. Same thing. 1 is 0 before 1, and if I can also, along with writing queries in SSMS, come over here to the cube and right-click on the cube and browse on in. And I'm now in an editor down here that will allow me to do drag and drop. So if I come down here into measures, and let's take internet sales, and I'm going to take internet sales amount, right-click and add it to the data, and you see that immediately comes on back. And now we'll come through and take a look at the product, and we're going to add a hierarchy. The hierarchy down here, as you see, is the little symbol down here of the triangle. And I'll right-click this, and I'll add it to the row area. And now, as you can see, I've got these numbers dropping on down, and I can expand out my accessories and expand that on out too. I also could use a SQL Server profile to capture this in a trace if I wanted to. Now if I switch on over to bids, I'm now down here in bids, and I'm in the query editor here, which is the browser tab. And again, all I did was I went into the cube down here and I right clicked on the cube and I opened it. And then I went to the browser tab, and this editor is the same as the one we just looked at in SSMS. If I drop on down into the measures group, here's my displays, my display folders. And if I take another look at internet sales, and let's take internet sales amount again, and see the same editor, add to sales, and dropping on down to product, I come down here and let's go model lines this time, and I'll add it to, let's do the columns. And as I drop on down, see, I can expand this on out, and you see this editor. Now let's go in and take a quick look at a dimension. Here's a product dimension. As I drop on down, and here's a product dimension at the all level, the default all, which we'll cover in the later module, the module on dimensions. And if I expand that on down from all, you can see I've got dropping on down from all, I've got accessories, bikes, and clothing, and then I can expand on down. And now I have different levels as I'm moving on down through the groups. Come back over to the dimension structure, and you see here's the hierarchies that are within the dimension. Here's the attribute collection that makes up the product dimension, and here's the actual data that dimension comes off of.